Welcome to another episode on the See Through It podcast. I'm your host, Brian Sales. It's Friday, guys. Like I promised, I am here, but I am here differently. This is a recorded episode. I think I'll be back on next Friday for the sports episode for a live session. But today is a recorded one. Got some stuff I gotta get get done. Tons of school and other things I gotta get done. So today, I'm sorry, this is a recorded one. But anyway, I am glad to be talking to you guys about the sports that is going on in the world today. But before we get into all of that, let's go ahead and get into this contact and promo some stuff. So as you know, I have the Facebook page for the podcast, facebook.com stipodcast. If you are on YouTube, please go to that URL, that link, and give that page a thumbs up, a follow. Trying to get to 500 before the year is over. I think right now we're sitting at 365. So I know we got a long way to go, but if we don't make it this year, we'll still be pushing for that 500. So go ahead and go there and give the page a like, a follow, share, join the conversation. Also, if you have any topics that you want to hear about, or you want my point of view on, or whatever, email me at see through it podcast at gmail.com. See through it podcast at gmail.com. Also, if you want to purchase mugs or coffee mugs, tall glass mugs, hoodies or t-shirts, email me there. I accept PayPal. And speaking of PayPal, here is the PayPal. I accept PayPal. So, and also if you want to donate to the show, if you like what I'm doing and want if you feel compelled, or you want to just be nice, or whatever. If you don't want to, that's fine too. But if you would like to, please paypal.me/see through it. Please go there and do that as well. So let's get into it. Today is Friday. Carmelo Anthony has received a guaranteed contract from the Portland Trail Blazers. I'm excited about that. It's been a long time coming. I feel like he's earned it, and I feel like he's evolved into the player that he needs to be so that he can stay in the league. I feel like he knows he's not the go-to player anymore, and when you let alpha dog for a long time, it's hard to make that transition, and sometimes you have to step back, and that separation, you have to again fall back in love with the game and just enjoy playing the game. I think he's enjoying playing the game. So kudos to him for getting a guaranteed contract from the Portland Trail Blazers, and all the people that was hating on him because he had a bad game. That's ridiculous. It's basketball. You have bad games in basketball. It's crazy how someone can be fighting to get back into the league and go through all of that and make it back into the league and play very well in the games that he's played in, and have one bad game and people are like, well, he shouldn't. That's ridiculous. Ignore that nonsense. It's nonsense. In other news, the Cowboys lost to the Chicago Bears. That's crazy. I don't know how you lose to Chicago Bears with Mitch Trubisky as the quarterback of that team. You have Dak, you have Amari Cooper, you have Zeke. Maybe the question is on the defense. Maybe the question is the defense. So what are they doing on the defensive side of the ball? They allowed that offense. Chicago Bears beat Dallas Cowboys. If you would have told someone that in week 2 or week 3, when Mitch Trubisky looked like he didn't know what he was doing out there on the field, everyone would have laughed. Everyone would have laughed. But he did it. He did it. So maybe the question should be, because I haven't heard anyone mention the defense, the Dallas Cowboys defense. What are they doing on defense? How good is that defense? They're doing a lot of breaking. It's okay to bend, but they're doing a lot of breaking. So, staying in the football world, Mike Vick Mike Vick has been given the opportunity to coach in the NFL Pro Bowl game. If I had a little a button to give him some applause, I would do it. But I don't have that set up yet. So soon I will have those little. I can press a button and little different sounds will come up. But uh, so that was announced, and then hours later, I read that there's a petition that's been signed by thousands of people to get him removed from that game. Thousands of people signed a petition to get him removed from that game. That's been a long time ago. And the reason why they want him removed from the game, because you know the story. He was fighting dogs in Atlanta. He had a big ring, and it was a bunch of people involved, and dogs have been they were fighting. They were being trained to fight, and blah blah blah, which is horrible, right? It's horrible. Um, Mike Vick, after that, went on to jail, lost millions of dollars, got older inside of jail, so he also lost some of his talent or his speed, and um, he lost a lot of time in football. Not to mention that he lost time away from his family, uh, lost his time from being a free man or whatever, which is all understandable. You know, you break the law. Now you have to pay your consequences. There's consequences for your actions. Right, right, okay. So then he gets out of jail. He still got tons of money that he has to pay back. You know, finally gets a job for the being a quarterback at the Eagles. Right. I think he was there for 2-3 years, I believe, and had some good games. Had some good games where we was able to be like, oh, that's the old Mike Vick. That's the old Mike Vick. Okay. Then he went on to what? Not Seattle, but Pittsburgh, and then that was into that, right? Got a job for Fox Sports, working with the Fox network, and then yeah, so now he's living his life. Feel like he's paid his dues to society, you know. Boom. So now he's been honored, or he's given an honor to coach the Pro Bowl, and people are signing a petition to get him removed. Now I don't. I thought America was for second chances. I thought this wasn't like a third or fourth or fifth. This was he got caught the first time, you know, and he went to jail and lost tons of money, and then had to come back and still had money that he had to pay back and all that. Like he paid his dues, right? Would you say that he paid his dues? What do you think would be okay for him to be allowed to live his life again? Like what else do you want for him to do? He went to jail, spent time in jail, like a long time in jail. Not like most people who break a law from stealing from tons of people or whatever, corporate and all that. He went to jail for a long time, got out, still had tons of money he had to pay back, got a contract from the Eagles, which was a small contract. It still didn't even make up for what he had to pay back to other people. Um, so the question to you guys is, what else did he need to do? What else does he have to do to so that he can enjoy his life? I already know people are not going to let it go. I know that. But why can't people allow him to live his life? We have to remove him from the Pro Bowl game? We have to remove him from the Pro Bowl game? And I'm pretty sure, I'm not going to say I'm pretty sure. I'm assuming that most of those people don't even watch football. They heard about it, and now they're outraged about it. So why? I hope the NFL does not remove him from the Pro Bowl game. He's given enough. Excuse me. He's given enough. What else does he need to give? I can go downtown and see tons of homeless people. Tons of homeless people. There's tons of animal shelters, though. But there's no shelter for the homeless. Our priorities are jacked up. It's okay to leave a human on the streets, in the cold. In the cold. Snow everywhere. It's not okay to do that to an animal. And I mean, people love their dogs. I get that. But I feel like we're taking it overboard. We don't want him to coach the Pro Bowl game. Some of them not even watching. It's the Pro Bowl game. It's not even it's like a it's not even a real game. It's not even a real game. Have they? The game is they're out there two-hand touch flag football type. It's not even a real game, folks. All the outrage over him coaching that game, but across America, there's homeless people sleeping in the winter on the streets. I don't see no petitions to remove local officials. I don't see no petitions to build um, build a home for these people, a shelter. I don't see no petitions to have a 24-hour shelter for the winter. I don't see none of that. I don't hear any of those things. I hear that we need animal shelters. It's illegal to leave an animal outside and blah 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 blah. But human life is worth nothing. Our priorities are jacked up. Jacked up. Jacked up. Oh, I got into this conversation and I totally forgot that I had a pick of Michael Vick. Forgot to put him up there. Worked hard to get that picture cut out pretty neatly. But anyway, that's Mike Vick, and I don't agree with what's going on. That's my 2 cents on it. I'm looking at it, and I understand both sides, but to a point that you have to move on. He's done. He's suffered enough. He hasn't been in any trouble since then. I see if he was in and out of jail, then yes, get the petition going. He hasn't learned his lesson. He's a menace to society. Get him out of here. That's not the case. That is not the case. That is not the case. Let that man live. Let him provide for his family in the right way that he can. So I hope he doesn't get removed. I hope the NFL does right by him. Ignore the crowd mob, the crowd that is crying out for nonsense. These crowds are ridiculous. Sometimes you have to ignore them. So as we transition into other football talk, we're going to talk about college football. It's a big weekend. We got the Big Ten, we have the ACC, we have the SEC, the Pac-12, Big 12. Championship games going on this week. I only mentioned the Power 5, but there's two games outside the Power 5 that I'm very interested in. Hawaii and Boise State. Hawaii came out of nowhere. They came out of nowhere, especially knocking off two Pac-12 teams this year. Congratulations to them on a good season, finishing 9-4. They have a chance to go 10-4 this year against Boise State. 10-4. How did they get that many games? I must have read that wrong. I'm gonna have to look up that, but they have a chance of winning, having 10 games, I believe. And another game that I'm interested in is Memphis and Cincinnati. I've been watching Cincinnati since the beginning of the season, and when they played who did they play? UCLA, that first game. Um, I was very intrigued, and then I watched them against Ohio State, and that was, it's a team that's they are building. They're building. They don't have that talent yet, but they fight. They fight hard. Um, Bear with me. I'm trying to get that Boise State and Hawaii game to make sure. Oh, yeah, 9-4. Okay, 9-4. I must have missed some games, but anyway, they have a chance of going 10-4. But anyway, I'm interested in that Memphis and Cincinnati game. I believe that's going to be a good game. Cincinnati lost to them earlier in the season, 34-24, I believe. This is a good game. I watched it. I've seen a lot of American Conference games this year. The AAC. I don't even know what the other A stands for. I don't even know what the other A stands for, but I've watched a lot of American Conference games this year. SMU was doing very well. Cincinnati, Navy, hoo ya. Um, if you didn't know what that was, the Navy grunt. That's the war cry for the Navy. Memphis, Cincinnati, Navy, SMU. Uh, they had some good games this year. They had a lot of good games this year. The conference did very well. They're still not a Power Five conference, but their games were very entertaining. So if you haven't watched any of the games, I definitely would tell you should check out some of their games. I feel like it was more exciting than the ACC and the Pac-12. Both of them together, they didn't have any games, and even I mean, I can almost put them up there with the Big Ten. I mean, the American Conference had a lot of games this year that was like, okay, they got some good young coaches in that league. Temple, I forgot about Temple. Um, that's a decent league. I wouldn't say I would need to see them play some more power teams and really like be in those games. Um, the bottom of their league is weak as weak, but they got some decent teams. They got some shine, some glitz. It's a nice little league. So I would definitely next year. I don't know if they can maintain. That's the biggest thing with these other leagues. Can they maintain consistent performance? Can they perform consistently through the years? Not one year be here and then fall off the whole following year. That's the issue there. But I feel like this year the American Conference could have been right up there. Not saying talent wise, but just entertainment with the games that they had slated right up there with the ACC and the Pac-12 and the Big 12. So those I would definitely tell you to check that Memphis and Cincy game out, and the Hawaii and Boise State game. I'm looking at the Boise State. I didn't know they was ranked number 19. I thought they was a little bit higher than that. But anyway, make sure you check I mean, it's gonna be entertaining. But let's go ahead and jump into the games that I have for the Power Five. We're gonna start off with the least exciting game of them all. Well, I don't want to say that. Let's impact. We're gonna go from least impactful to impactful. Okay. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So first, we got the Big Ten championship game. We got Wisconsin and Ohio State. I feel like this is going to be a rematch, and when I mean rematch, I mean a rematch of the same score. Ohio State they're going to be playing themselves to see if they can beat what they put up last game. I don't trust that Wisconsin has. I don't have to. I don't. It's not that I don't. I know. I know they don't have the talent, the speed on the outside to compete with Ohio State. We all know that. What we're wondering is what is the score going to look like? I don't think no one outside of Wisconsin is choosing Wisconsin to win that game. So I believe that the competition right now for Ohio State is how many points can they put up? Everyone wants that number one spot. How many points can you put up? I'm thinking 60. I think they're gonna smash Wisconsin. Jonathan Taylor. I mean, he had a decent season. They was hyping him up for Heisman. I didn't really see it, but he's a decent running back. He's not decent. He's a good running back. He's a good running back. But that's Wisconsin style of play, and Ohio State is, like I said, they are the team in the Midwest. That's the team you got to go through. That's the team you're recruiting against. Their reach is unbelievable in the Midwest. Everyone wants to go there. There's a huge talent gap, and Jim Harbaugh didn't even want to talk about it. He didn't even want to talk about the talent gap there is. There's a huge talent gap. A huge talent gap. And I don't know if it's because Ohio State is able to develop that talent and Michigan's not. Purdue and Indiana, all of them, they're not able to develop the talent or whatever the case may be. But Ohio State is that team. Ever since I was young, Ohio State has been that team. There's been a couple Michigan teams that jumped in there and interrupted the consistent Ohio State team. But for the most part, Ohio State runs the Big Ten. And that is the way it's going to be. So I'm going Ohio State winning that game. Huge, massive, outrageous numbers. So that's that. The next game that I'm looking at is, boom. As you see there, we got Oklahoma and Baylor rematch. CeeDee Lamb will be in this game. Jalen Hurts, number one target, only target, will be in this game. When they first played, I said that Oklahoma, Jalen Hurts was going to have some he's going to have to put some Heisman numbers together. I seen Baylor. Their defense is pretty solid. They're pretty solid. But how good is this defense? How good would the defense be against with CeeDee Lamb on the field this time around? Jalen's a warrior. If you're gonna, you better make sure he's down. And in that type of offense, you better make sure that team is down and there's no way of coming back. They came back and won that game against Baylor. I couldn't believe that happened. I was shocked. Does it happen again? I believe. I don't think it's gonna be a close game, or a. How do I want to put this? It'll be a good game till the third quarter, and I feel like Oklahoma pulls away. They gonna need some style points, so they're gonna have to put some points up. Jalen Hurts is gonna have to look like Superman out there. And I feel like Oklahoma, if they want to get into the playoff, they're gonna have to do something crazy in this game. They cannot start slow against Baylor. Cannot start slow. They cannot have a comeback victory against Baylor. So that's my opinion on that one. They have to come out fast, putting up the points, control the game. Third quarter all the way. I mean, it's so I can see them. Both teams kind of trying to fill each other out first. I not fill each other out, but playing a good game in the first half, and then third quarter, I believe Oklahoma has to pull away and make a huge separation, so they can be like, hey, committee, hey, we're here. We had that one hiccup against Kansas State, who's proven to be a decent team. Let us in. We're Big 12 champions. We taking care of business. Let us in. So that's that. I think that's their best argument. They got to come into this game and take care of business and put up the points and make it look good, dominating the game. So the next one I got here is, let's see, we're going to go here. Virginia and Clemson. I picked Virginia, if you guys seen it earlier in the year. I picked Virginia to come out of the Coastal. I said, Virginia might be that team that might catch Clemson. They might get them. That was before the season started. If you haven't seen that video, it's on the page, and you can also watch it on YouTube. It's called the ACC Outlook for the 2019 season. The ACC Outlook. I said that. I thought Virginia had a chance to maybe play them real tight and maybe, catch them. I now have to backtrack. That Virginia team is very inconsistent. Inconsistent, and I don't believe in the offense. The defense has been solid, but that offense is up and down. I don't know which team is going to show up. They're very inconsistent. And with the way Clemson is playing right now, and then Dabo always baking up chips to put on his team's back to make them play better, I don't believe Virginia has a chance. I don't believe Virginia has a chance. And Clemson knows they got to put up the points. They got to show dominant that they are gonna. They have to show that they can play. That they deserve to be in the playoffs. I mean, especially if you got Oklahoma playing very well, and half of the western part of the country is clamoring for Utah to get in there. Clemson has to do what they got to put up the points. They got to destroy Virginia. Um, yeah, so I thought Virginia had a chance, but they don't. They don't. But devil's advocate. I that, if they had a chance, the chaos that would ensue if Virginia beat Clemson, there's no way. There's no way Clemson stays up there. We all know that. We all know that. The question is, who gets that final spot? Oklahoma? Utah? Who gets that final spot? Will a 2-loss team try to get up there? Who gets that final spot? Especially if Utah loses and Oklahoma loses. Well, then I guess it would go to Baylor. The chaos would ensue, but I don't believe that would happen. I don't believe that would happen. I believe Clemson is going to go in there, smack Virginia. That game will be over in the second quarter, and boom, there it is. So that's my prediction for that game. As we move on, we are looking at the Oregon Utah game. I said that the Pac-12 was done after the Oregon loss to Auburn. I felt like they were done. And then they went on to win some more games, and then they lost again to Arizona State, my sleeper. Utah haven't played anyone all year. I mean, against the teams that they played, they look pretty decent. I can't sit here and say they don't look good. That would be me being blind. I've watched them play UCLA, Colorado, Washington. I watched them play. It's a decent team, and against the talent that they're playing, I don't know outside of that. Is this the team that Urban Meyer? Is this that team? That team that beat Alabama? I wouldn't say that. That team had Alex Smith, NFL quarterback. Huntley is a good quarterback. I don't know if I trust Utah to be in the playoffs. I don't know if I trust them to be in the playoffs. Give me Oklahoma. Give me Clemson. I got to see more from Utah. Now, if they go into this game against Oregon and they smack Oregon, and Georgia loses, go ahead, put them up there. It'll be interesting. Put them up there. I mean, the last time a Pac-12 team went to the playoffs, the last couple of times, I mean, we saw what Washington did against Alabama. We saw what Oregon did against Ohio State. There's a talent gap. There's a talent gap. I'm not saying these teams that conference is horrible, but they don't play football like the rest of the country plays football. It's not USC. It's Oregon and Utah and other teams like that. I need to see more from Utah. But if they go in there again, like I said, they go in there and they smack Oregon, put them in there. But wait, I didn't tell you who I'm picking to win this game. I believe Oregon will beat Utah. They've heard all the noise. Justin has heard everyone doubt him. I've definitely doubted him since the beginning of the season. I didn't understand why they put him in the Heisman spotlight. I didn't. I've doubted him all season. NFL talent people have said he's a top round pick. I don't see it. I don't see it. I feel like he's very inconsistent. I saw the game against Arizona State, and I picked Arizona State in that game, and they struggled. Oregon struggled. I watched them against USC. USC could have beat them, but USC they turned over the ball too much. I don't believe in Oregon, but I am going to believe in them for Saturday against Utah in the Pac-12 championship game that only 10% of the country will watch. Only 10% of the country will watch. I have Oregon beating Utah and ending the hopes of the Pac-12 of getting into the playoffs for another year. As we move on, we have the mighty SEC championship game, Georgia LSU. And I heard the noise. I heard you when I said the mighty. I heard the noise when Alabama went down, and I heard it all. But that just lets you know everyone is watching the SEC. Everyone. You can deny it all you want. The SEC has the most watched games on TV because that's where all the talent is. Look at your NFL rosters. Matter of fact, Google, Wiki, which conference has the most NFL talent? Look at it. Look at it. Don't get mad at me. Get mad at the players from going to those schools. Get mad at the coaches. This is the best conference. It means more. It means more. Football in the South is just more. These people breathe, eat football. It is a religion. It's in their blood. It's in their DNA. Football, SEC football. So don't get mad at me. I'm just repeating what I've seen all along. SEC dominates college football. In basketball, it's the ACC or the Big Ten. You know, that's just how it is. That's just how it is. So get over your biasness and enjoy great football. Because I'm sure everyone that just booed and felt some type of way will be watching this game. Because I can bet you this. A lot of people wasn't watching the Big Ten games or the Pac-12 or the Big 12. People outside the SEC was watching SEC games. So, as we go ahead and look at the greatest game that's going to be happening this weekend, Georgia LSU, I don't believe this game will be close at all. I don't think Georgia has a chance. I don't see not one reason or string of hope. I see nothing that gives Georgia an opportunity of winning this game. I just don't see it. Joe Burrow will have to go down. I hope he does not get injured. This season has been filled with injuries. I'm against the injuries because I've seen Alabama go through enough. I don't want to see another injury to a quarterback. Georgia does not have a chance in this game. With Swift being gone, well, I'm not sure if he's playing this game, but he's definitely hurt. So he's not 100%. Pickens will be suspended the first half, I believe, if not the whole game, for his fight at the Georgia Tech game. and they got some issues, some injuries on the offensive line, and the defense is getting beat up. I don't believe Georgia has enough offense to outscore LSU. I believe this is a 21-point beatdown. They're going to beat them by 3 touchdowns. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be ugly. And that will, I don't believe it'll cause chaos, but I believe that will open the door for Oklahoma to slide right into that spot. And then that will make everyone happy. We can't have a playoffs with 2 SEC teams. We can't do that. That's ridiculous. Well, it's not ridiculous. It's just the reality of it. It's just the reality of it. The best conference with the best players. That's just the way it is. But people, don't worry. LSU will take care of business. They will crush Georgia and will allow Oklahoma to slide into that 4th spot to get into the playoffs. And depending on how, it depends on the score of the Oklahoma and the Clemson game. If Oklahoma goes in there and destroys, maybe Clemson drops to number 4 because they haven't played anybody. And they got to match up with Ohio State. Make Clemson earn it. I don't know. But that's what I'm going with. Those are my picks. Those are my picks for this weekend. We got Memphis and Cincy. I got Cincy on the revenge. And then we got Hawaii and Boise State. I'm going with Hawaii. I'm going with the Rainbow Warriors. I've always been fond of that team. I hope they take the Mountain West Conference. It's going to be a tall task. But I got Cincy beating Memphis for the American Conference. And we have LSU dominating Georgia. Oregon pulling up the upset. I believe it will happen. And we have Virginia getting thrashed by Clemson. Jalen Hurts putting up a Heisman performance numbers to give Oklahoma another victory over the Baylor Bears. And we have Ohio State competing against its original score to see if they can outscore what they did in the first matchup against Wisconsin. I know that's disrespectful to that team, but it is what it is. I'm just telling you like it is. Ohio State is the better team. They run that conference. They're their only competition. They're their only competition. The talent gap. That's the talent gap. So, that's that for the show. So thank you for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any predictions, let me know. Drop it in the comments. Tweet at me at SeeThroughIt1. You can send me a tweet and let me know, or you can put the comment underneath the video and give me your score predictions of who's going to win these games for championship weekend. Who do you want to see in the playoffs? Let me know. Contact information again. Let's run through that. Go to facebook.com/STIPODCAST. Give the page a like, a thumbs up, a follow, share, join the conversation. Also, contact me at seethroughitpodcast@gmail.com for any of the stuff that I have, coffee mugs, hoodies, t-shirts, or whatever. Let me know if you want any of those things, or if you have a topic that you want to hear me talk about. Let me know that as well. PayPal, I accept PayPal. If you want to donate to the show, paypal.me/seethroughit. I greatly appreciate it. If not, that is fine. But it is there if you want to. So again, thank you for tuning in. Happy holidays. Christmas is around the corner. People be safe. Don't spend all your money. We don't spend all your money. I think I have a show planned about that, but I will see you guys Wednesday with a new topic on community things. Wednesday is the community and just awareness and just being better. So make sure you tune in on Wednesday. That will be a live show there. And next Friday, the sports show will be live. We're probably going to have a lot to talk about. Probably college football. Probably a lot of college football. I might sprinkle in some NBA, maybe some NFL. I don't know. We'll see. Next Friday will be a live show, though. So, again, don't be blinded by the media. #SeeThroughIt. All right, folks. Again, this is the See Through It podcast. I'm your host, Brian Sells. I will see you guys later. Peace.